Okay, so let's dive a little deeper into, if we say leaders, individual leaders, let's dive a little deeper into individual development. Okay, so I learned about adult development theory from Robert Keegan, and he is, I'm sure you would have read some of the books that he's written. Probably one of the most well-known ones in the Agile community is An Everyone Culture. Okay. So before Keegan started looking at adult development theory, people really thought that we are kids, and once we grow out of our kiddie years, we become, I'm sorry, I'm just turning off my phone because I forgot to do that. So once we become teenagers really, and grow into adults, that's the end of our development. Okay. And Keegan, through grounded research, found out that it actually isn't the case. So if we look in the adult population, we have the following levels of development. Okay, so first of all, there's the self-sovereign mind. And if you know a teenager, or if you have a teenager, you will recognize this. Okay, generally, we outgrow this in our early 20s, but we certainly don't always completely lose it. So up until when we're teenagers, we have a feeling of connection with other human beings. And then there's like a wall comes down, and we lose the feeling of connection with those around us. So I've got my niece has just turned 15, and she has been the most lovely child all her life. And all of a sudden, literally overnight, it's like somebody switched, flipped a switch in her. And whereas she was, where she was so lovely before, I'm now more often than not referring to her as devil spawn. Okay, because this lovely child has chopped off her hair, she wears combat boots, and she's just nobody is right, and nobody understands her. And this is very typical of the self-sovereign mind. So if you look at the characteristics of the self-sovereign mind, it's that nobody understands me. I have to look out for myself. Things are either black or white, it's right or wrong, and you're either with me or you're against me. So it's really this is the state of the mind when we are in that black and white space. So as we grow out of that space, so eventually we do grow out of it. It doesn't last forever. But we then realize that we're each too small to hold onto the things that we need to hold on to. So our minds start opening up, and then we tend to get embedded in a community, a set of friends, profession, set of theories. So this is something you can hear, that this is what starts happening to us in our early 20s. So, and also what happens to us at this point is then we kind of become enmeshed in the communities that we embed in, and we kind of begin to breathe that in, and we they become who we are, and they become the lens that we see through instead of the lens we look at. Okay, so this is our second stage of development, of adult development. It's called the socialized mind, and this is really when we become well-functioning members of society. Okay, so we are concerned about what others think about us. We know that there are rules and regulations of whatever our group, our friend group, family group, religious group, society. We tend to follow those even when people are not looking. Okay, this is also when we become aware of what others think of us, and we try and change our behavior to make sure that that we reflect well in their eyes. So there's a very strong external locus of control here, and leaders can get very frustrated if they themselves have moved past this stage. They can get very frustrated with people who are in this stage because they keep on asking for directions. Where am I? Where are we going? What should I be doing? Am I doing it right? Constantly being measured against that locus of control that is outside of them. So we grow out of this once we realize that actually no theory or group or organization is infallible. And this is when we move into our next phase. Oh, sorry, let me just you have a look at those. There's also a strong attachment to my role here, by the way. So when we move out of this, when we realize, well, there's actually more to the world than just what we've experienced so far. And this is when we move into the self-authoring mind. So generally we grow tired of trying to be what society, our peers, or our family wants us to be. And we kind of, we get tired of being like this for this one and like that for that one. I always think about the movie Zelig, Woody Allen movie, in which he is the human chameleon. So this is when we start realizing this is just too tiring. How about I start to author myself, and how I need to start dancing to the beat of my own inner drum. So this is very much the space of the traditional leader. Okay, this is not the end though. So we really strongly become aware of our own values and principles, of if we have to choose between what's right in my eyes versus what's right in somebody else's eyes, I stick to what's right in my eyes. And I won't be measured against somebody else's, somebody else's measures anymore. What I think is the best place for me to go, the path for me, the best measure of my ability, that's where I'm going to go. Okay, so the growth out of here, because this is still not, even though there's a lot of leaders, this certainly it rings our bell for leadership. There's a lot of leaders sitting at self-authoring mind. This is not the last place we go. So at a certain point in time, we also realize, practices of leadership, my personal theories, they are limited. They're limits to what they can go to. So a big thing here is what's going on in our minds is, what am I thinking and how could I be wrong? Which ultimately leads us into the self-transforming mind. So in the self-transforming mind, I not only live by my own beliefs and my own rules, but I also have the awareness that they are just rules and beliefs. I can lift them up, I can look at them and decide, do they work for me or don't they work for me? Are they still the right thing for me? Given what I've learned, given what I know, given the specific circumstances, are these the right things, or do I need to transform even my beliefs? So this is the place of everybody is right, but only partially. And actually, who knows what's right and what is wrong? So it's the place where we are no longer scared of our shadow, because we know that there's wisdom in our shadow. So we are happy to explore our shadow, and we, get into comfortable relationship with it. Okay, and we start judging things as right or wrong, efficient or not efficient, and we really embrace the richness of life. Okay, now this is the last stage of adult development that we currently know of. Okay.